the window was there to try and roll England out for 280, and if we'd have done that, let's see where it could have been a very different picture.
NDB නියොස් තියද්දී රිස්ක් එකක් නැතුව කික් එකේ ෆන් ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆර්ස් කරන්න වගේම චිල් එකේ බිල්ස් පේ කරන්න.
Yeah, it's not easy, that is for sure. Well, special day, wasn't it? And awesome to watch, I think. The rhythm he's had in this test match and the way he's played, through tough situation. I thought first innings, the way he guided England to that score, obviously with a good partnership at the back end. But yeah, his skill level is incredible, and obviously has spent plenty of time playing with Joe and watching him train and the way he goes about his business. It's, just to see him achieve what he's achieved now with so much more to give as well, it's quite incredible. I mean, to be fair, a lot of conversation in our dressing room, I think, that watching him, the way he played spin against Sri Lanka recently on the previous tour was some of the best, I suppose, from an English batsman's point of view, some of the best we've ever seen. I think there's no doubt when he hits that kind of rhythm, you can see it in his movements. He's one of the best, if not the best, in the world in these conditions. So it was frustrating from our point of view, but obviously from a purist point of view, it's great to see him obviously go past Cookie, but yeah, he's got so much to give to England as well still, which is great to see. Look, I think actually at the start of certainly what we asked the guys last night was to come in with that attitude that we saw in Manchester. There's that real desire, fight, so some character, and I thought actually from the start of the day they showed that. There's no doubt that the bowlers who have had a heavy workload in this game came in, set the tone. They were aggressive, used a slightly different tactic. Maybe we could have done that a bit earlier in the first innings, but in terms of attitude and the fielding was spot on today. We want to see that with the bat. It sort of started that way, a bit fortunate, I suppose, to lose the second wicket in that little period, an over or two of in between the bad light, but more of the same tomorrow, hopefully. As we said, take it a bit of a time, but it's more the character we want to see that we've seen so far in this tour. Obviously, you want to win games, but also want to see the guys fight for everything they've got in these conditions, which are a bit more tricky, I suppose, than what they play in Sri Lanka. I was just out the back, actually, so it took me by surprise, to be honest with you. But, it looked a good move, doesn't it, right now? But, it took me a little bit by surprise. I'd nipped out the back. I believe so. Again, I hadn't had the conversation, but, it's worked out all right, hasn't it? So, and the more we can spend time in the middle, and that ball gets a bit softer, so what we're 20 overs in now, and I think this wicket has been quite a new ball wicket as well, if you can get through that. So, still plenty of batting in there and that's probably been the strength so far this tour, that middle order, lower order actually has got some good runs in these conditions. So the more we can, like I said, eke out, certainly the start tomorrow, the first hour is important, and we'll go from there. There's conversations, I'm sure. I mean, he's played beautifully on this tour so far, and I think he's got a huge career going forward, certainly in this test side and all formats of the game. He's looked absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, I'm sure at some point, I'm not sure he's not going to stay at 7 forever, and looks a real talent. That's right. He scored 108, I think he told me as well, in Bangladesh. So good number for him as well. But a real talent, and he's shown, and that's the trick. And we've seen with routine, world-class players, can score runs home and away. And it's great to see him actually come into English conditions, which were tricky, certainly in Manchester as well. And actually look, he's had a lot of time. So again, if you can take that form to overseas conditions and then score runs at home as well, I think there's a real player Sri Lanka have on their hands.
නිකම් බොරුවට රිස්ක් එකක් ගන්නේ ඇයි? NDB නියොස් තියද්දී රිස්ක් එකක් නැතුව කික් එකේ ෆන් ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆර්ස් කරන්න වගේම චිල් එකේ බිල්ස් පේ කරන්න.
Again, probably the conversation with the ball. As I said, it's you want that ball to stay as hard as possible. So I think probably similar to what we did in Manchester, tried to see if you can squeeze or get a wicket at the night. But there has to be a point, I think, where you have to come back the next day. You want that, like I said, that ball to be as hard as possible. And obviously that's what they've, I suppose, gone with. Like I said, it was a good day, a good start from the batting in terms of a bit of fight there. But probably not too surprised. I thought they'd give it a go and then move on. I loved it. The whole environment, as I said, from the minute I've come into the group, it's been very welcoming, very friendly. What I've noticed is a hell of a lot of talent. And as I said, collectively as a group, they enjoy each other's company, they work hard. And as I said, they've shown a lot of character so far on this tour. We've had moments. I think first innings there again, I think at tea, on a pretty flat wicket, I thought to have England 6 down, 215, I thought that was a window of opportunity there that we couldn't quite get. But from a personal point of view, I've loved every minute. As I said, there's so much talent there to work with. great environment, and like I said, hopefully we can show more tomorrow. No, well, like I said, a focus really on this, and obviously the next game of. Obviously, got some franchise cricket that I've got lined up for the winter as well. But yeah, not look too far ahead. As I said, I've enjoyed this opportunity, and yeah, just focus on. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully we have a good day tomorrow. Get that prep right for the guys, and I said hopefully there's another opportunity at the Oval that you have every Test match, an opportunity to do something, and that's what we'll be focused on. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of conversation about it. You know, and it was. At one point it was bat, definitely, and then things sort of changed. I think the reality, you know, bowling first it wasn't about bowling England out in a session. It would have been a slow burn, and I thought actually up until tea we were doing exactly what I suppose the game plan was. You know that day 2 at Lords generally is a very good day to bat, so I think if there was anything in the wicket for the seamers, it was that. But as you said, and a lot of the conversations when the sun's out at Lords, you bat. And I think in hindsight, you know, certainly at the end of day 1, you know, it was definitely a bat first pitch. But at tea, you know, the window was there to try and roll England out for 280. And if we'd have done that, you know, let's see where it could have been a very different picture, and the pressure would have been slightly different. But it wasn't just. There was a lot of conversation that went into that decision. But probably. Easy now, you know, saying it was a bat first, but yeah, it wasn't, like I said, just a throwaway bowl first. There was a lot going into those decisions.
Hey, have you heard about Z?
Z. We KYC.
Easy.
Mobile banking. Crazy.
Education loans and salary advances.
Amazing. Introducing the Digital Youth Account. NDB Z. NDB Z from NDB Bank. The future is banking on us.